Zuma can be there, right? But as a lucky charm or the a part of the elders council, but not as the president.
Okay.
Let's have proper leadership for this mess that we've created, and we're thankful to Zuma for being able to be this magnet who's able to bring us together. But now, can we stop being practical, guys, and putting the right people in the right positions? And it can't be centered around this one name, and it cannot have women. There is no revolution without women. Julius was surrounded by yes men. And the danger with being surrounded by yes men is that even if you're stupid, the yes men are going to follow you into your stupid revolution.
Hey guys, welcome. Remember that we've just launched EYL Africa, where you can purchase this shirt that I'm wearing. You can purchase our socks. Don't forget, it's EYLshop.africa. The exciting news we're here for is, of course, the latest episode. Miss Ntsiki Mazwai.
Actually, this is our conversation, so we'll do it. But we do have, our men do need to pull themselves together.
Still on the woman president issue, I want you to put on your analyst perspective now and look outside of your own personal politics.
Okay.
Rob Hersoff says that Cyril is grooming a woman president to succeed him. Who's that woman president that you think Cyril is grooming?
Jesus. I think it is a bad thing. The whole thing is a mess. First of all, what has Rob Hersoff got to do with anything, and why are we elevating his opinions, and why do we even care what Rob Hersoff says? Second of all, if we look at the reality of the CR administration, has it been successful for people, or has it just created a middle class that's connected to Cyril that's doing really well, and a majority that's doing really badly? So we have to be careful as Abantu Abamnyama to see who are the leaders being put on by Abelung. You know, we know our economics. We know that politics can only work if there's money injected into it. And Abantu Abamnyama ngithi asinayo imali. So imali is being injected by Abelung.
Sure.
So which gives Abelung the power to choose our leaders for us. Which brings us back to that point I was making. Abelung bazokhetha lo or push up izinto zabo angithi.
Yeah.
So I think that if we're hearing that, we should be horrified, scared, and as a collective now starting to move around. But guys, it's time to choose our own leaders, people who represent the people, the needs of the people. We can't keep having this small, select middle class, not even a middle class, and they're so small, who are governing such a huge majority and basically selling us out. They are fine. Bona basharp, guys. Basharp. If you look at the people around Ramaphosa, basharp. Rona, we are not. We are not.
If you use the narrative where you're saying that we are platforming Rob Hersoff wrongly, but isn't it fine that if, inverted commas, Rob Hersoff is the enemy of blackness, and now we're hearing what the enemy thinks of us, isn't it good that we can now act accordingly because we know what they are thinking and what their plans are? And if he's giving us insight, Toguti, we are telling Cyril to put this person, doesn't it give us an advantage then if we're on the other side? Blackness, right?
It is good, but we must just be very careful because it's like that privileged kid thing, that ego, where the privileged kid thinks that their opinion is more important than everybody else because they're the privileged kid. We have to be careful of that. That Goodman culture.
Yeah.
And we can't have a Goodman culture for apartheid beneficiaries, you know? Melissa is tanned in that, you know? We must have it in us. Ahlale pants. It's so really when you're lucky actually to still be here. You're lucky to be alive in this country and being allowed to do lento yenzayo. So I don't know, there's a thing about Abantu Abamnyama have given Abelungu too much leeway. They're too comfortable. So there's this saying that when you're in Rome, you do as the Romans. We also in Africa must have the same expectation. That when you're in Africa, you do as the Africans. So the fact that these Europeans are doing as they please and choosing our leaders and coming onto our platforms and acting like it's not okay, guys.
Yeah.
There must be times where it's like no, this is our space. Thanks.
I get that. Still on the tone of South African politics, you rather have been very vocal about being a member, you can correct me, of the MK party, or just being involved in the politics of the MK party. Right now, as it stands, you've come out to say you're disappointed in them and how they are marginalizing women. Are you still an advocate of the MK party, and do you still believe it's a vehicle for our emancipation as black people?
Okay, I know there's a lot of misunderstanding around me in MK, right? So before MK came, abantu abamnyama, we are in a dire situation, guys. Abantu balambile, guys, and the majority, and we're living hand to mouth and barely making it. All of us. And we're cool with it. And we shouldn't be cool with it because there are people, we live on a land that got resources. We shouldn't be okay with the service delivery. We shouldn't be okay with what's going on. And what happened in the CR administration is that slowly, the economy is going back to Abelung, to put it bluntly. The aim was for us to slowly take over the economy and then make sure that the resources of this country are spread out. But what had happened is that conference where CR came in, where brown envelopes were allegedly used, money has been detrimental to black liberation. So Abelungu came and they've bought a little section of people who are going to make sure ukuthi izinto zabo go zamba kahle. So in this administration, a lot of black people lost tenders, and those tenders started going back to white hands, which is something we were trying to reverse because during apartheid, I get it was like that. So we needed to spread the wealth. So now now the CR administration is reversing the gains we have made, right? And you can see that. As a person on the ground, you can see that. You can feel it. The economy, you can feel it. And Abelungu are now, even remember Ama load shedding and the water tenders, you can see that they play violently. They'll take it away because they're still in control of those resources, right? So before the elections and before MK, it was just going to get worse. There was nobody there for us to say, no, you can't, no. There was no, right? And rightfully so, and I'm not a Zuma fan at all, but rightfully so, he said that, youth, why are you so quiet? Like, why are you chilling? And for me, and I think I've got an answer for that. I think because so our white friends, we've humanized them. So now, asakon bahlanga club like ama 1976, So there was this thing where Abelungu now were comfortably coming back to government. Ne SABC by infiltrated. They were comfortably now gaining the resources. So when MK starts erupting, it becomes this body of energy for black people that says, no way,
sure,
you're not going to do that, right? So then this energy starts building up. And then I'm like, yeah, actually, we're going the wrong way. So let's cultivate this energy, this independent energy that's moving so that there's an opposition, so that just like in 92 or 91, when white people had to negotiate with that, it was because the unruly mass said, no, we're not going to do this anymore. So this energy was meant to be a no, we're not going to do this anymore. That's why I was getting so upset when they're not using the energy properly. And now it's becoming a Zuma thing, and you must be Zuma's friend or Zuma. That's why I was like, no, guys, you're going to kill the movement. And that's why I even said the woman thing. Like I say, men and women create together. So if you create this movement and it's starting to build, you need the women so that we build it and it grows. But now if you're just going to make it a male ego thing, it's going to collapse. It's going to become another EFF situation. So that was what's frustrating me, is that they were personalizing it around one individual. And it was no longer about, okay, what are we going to do for the people? What's the people's voices? The people should be the main event of any people's movement. So for me, I feel as if Zuma can be there, right? But as a lucky charm or a part of the elders council, but not as the president.
Okay.
I feel like that's why I feel like have a woman president. That's just challenging, but have a deputy. Even if you have two presidents, a man and a woman, I'm fine with that. I have no issues with that. You know,
to facilitate the transition.
Yes.
Yes.
And so we start getting used to.
Yeah.
But this thing where it centers around one person is dangerous for all of us. Also because he doesn't have that much life left in him. And I don't mean it in a rude way. I just mean in life. Biologically.
Yeah.
I can't be a strong, educated, 44-year-old woman looking at this 90-year-old whose politics don't even quite align with mine. So give me an option. That's why I was like, guys, let's have proper leadership for this mess that we've created. And we're thankful to Zuma for being able to be this magnet who's able to bring us together. But now, can we stop being practical, guys, and putting the right people in the right positions? And it can't be centered around this one name, and it can't not have women. There is no revolution without women.
What's the state of the organization right now, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I think that it's managed to attract some really brilliant minds. And I think that if they manage to move away from the Zuma narrative and put in other strong, young, vocal leaders that we know. Because another thing that worries me about MK is that they'll do that thing where they will go, we do have women, but then they put these women that we don't know there. So then it's like, no, you don't have women. We are the women we know who are in politics. But now it's getting better because I can see that they actually are. You know, we're starting to see the more prominent female voices that we know starting to occupy, getting into parliament. So I think, okay, let's give them a chance and see where this thing is going. But I think that MK does have to recognize that this is not a Zuma party. It's a people's party. And if you want to move the nation forward, we're going to have to move away from this Zumaism thing. It's really destructive. We don't want another cult. South Africa's not looking for another cult.
Has the MK not attracted, though, brilliant minds whose names are tainted in a judicial manner? So their names are tainted by the NPA, or they're currently undergoing cases, or they were impeached from courts, they were impeached from, their names, they may be brilliant, and they may have displayed being brilliant in certain eras of their life, but it feels like they are gaining a new lease on life after being ejected by the system.
I think that we need to ask ourselves why they were rejected by the system. And we need to ask ourselves, what kind of people does the system reject? And we need to, like for example, Advocate Nkwebane. Advocate Nkwebane will be known for decades to come because she took a very principled stand. She stood for the truth. Whether we like to admit it or not, Phala was a crime. It's a crime scene, and that's why we all know it's a crime scene. We all keep talking about it. That's why it won't go away, right? And the fact that Stellenbosch and CR17 have got the power over judiciary and the media, and they're using that, does not take away from the fact that it was a crime. So, the fact that Stellenbosch owns our media means that what we think is controlled by them. So if they say, no, we have to seal, why would they need to seal the documents? Would they seal them for Zuma? Would they seal, you know what I'm saying? Would they don't seal. What's so special about CR that his documents must be sealed and how he got funded? That should be something that's quite transparent. We want to know who funded you. Just like we would, it's politics. It's a public thing. So why are you hiding who is funding you? So whoever is funding you also controls the media. And how the media works is that one body will have legs into